are live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching us on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, I mean, are you even surprised anymore? You know, turnovers are atrocious. We had, 17 turnovers? Austin Reaves just throws it right to OKC. LeBron's turning the ball over. He double dribbles, traveling a bunch of times, right? Like, he would have had another turnover, but Max Christie ended up bailing him out on that one where he just, threw it up. And Max Christie just was there and ended up getting it, turning around, knocking it down. The team just, again, they don't have the pieces. Austin Reaves, inconsistent. People keep telling me he's not. Another game, another inconsistency. I do think that the Lakers, couple things. One, I think that the Lakers, JJ Redick, where I kind of fault him, is I get Reaves is our guy. He's the third guy. I get you stick with Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves just didn't have it this game. Austin Reaves just wasn't very good this game. D'Angelo Russell, credit D'Lo, had another great game. Why wouldn't you play D'Lo over Austin Reaves? Right? I mean, I get Reaves is your guy. I get Reaves is the third guy. He doesn't have it tonight. So, but D'Lo did. So why wouldn't you hey, Reaves, you're the guy. D'Lo's the guy that has it tonight. So let's go with D'Lo. But instead, you didn't go with D'Lo. That is kind of a big knock to me. This game is a perfect example of what I've talked about heavily, right? We need a center, right? No secret. However, we need perimeter guys more. We need athleticism and two-way guys out on the perimeter. Why? Because you need to be able to stop guys, and we need to be able to rebound. So many people keep saying, we have to get a center, you have to get a center, you have to get a center, you have to get a center. We got to get perimeter guys first. This game, we were bigger than. They were running 4 guards at times, and we were getting out rebound. Why? Because we don't have the athleticism out on the perimeter. Telling you, you go and get 2 or 3 guys out on the perimeter, you're going to solve your perimeter defense, you're going to solve your two-way issues, and you're going to solve a lot of the rebounding. Why are you going to solve a lot of the rebounding? Because you're not going to just get out-hustled and chased down every game. When you don't have the athleticism, teams have athleticism out on the perimeter. We have D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reaves, and Rui Hachimura. They're getting chased down. They're just, all you have to do is win a foot race, right? That's all you have to do. We need perimeter help more than anything, in my opinion. And I keep reiterating that. People keep saying, it's the rebound. No, it's when you don't have athleticism on the perimeter and you have teams shooting 43s a game on the Lakers because they can't defend out on the perimeter, and then you have all these long ball rebounds, guess what happens? It's just a foot race, right? We need Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, guys like that. People keep going, why do you want Zach LaVine? Why do you want Zach LaVine? This was a perfect game as to why. He helps with your athleticism. He helps with your foot speed. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were no-shows for the most part, right? Offensively, at least, right? And guess what? You would have had a guy in Zach LaVine that would have been able to be that guy. Instead of Reaves being that third guy, you would have had Zach LaVine being that third guy who would have helped with the rebounding, would have helped with the scoring. Get a guy like, a Dorian Finney-Smith, right? Why do I want a Dorian Finney-Smith? Because, again, he helps with the rebounding. He helps with the defense. He helps with the two ways. We need guys out on the perimeter. Again, I'm not saying that we don't need a backup center. We do. But we need to prioritize perimeter. We need actual competent guys out on the perimeter. We don't have that, right? I mean, this was just a sloppy game all around. It was a sloppy game all around. You have, again, LeBron turning the ball over every other possession. Austin Reaves turning the ball over every other possession. Again, Austin Reaves is not consistent. People keep telling me I'm wrong, but it keeps happening. Even the 2 games that he was good recently, he was good in the first half and then not good in the second half. I don't think anyone is untradeable on this time at this point, right? I think Connect, LeBron, and AD are the only untradeable guys, right? That should be by the Lakers standards, right? It's just this game was an absolute mess, right? I mean, again, Max Christie bailed LeBron out from having another turnover at the end of the game. That foul from Max Christie was terrible, right? I understand why you went with Max Christie at the end of the game, right? He was actually doing a pretty good job on the defensive side of things. He was impacting the game on the defense side of things, but just an inexperienced type of call, inexperienced type of foul. I just don't think you can count on that. But it's like, who else are you going to get to slow down and stop SGA? You could have maybe went with Cam Reddish, but offensively, that was the hope. Like, at least Max Christie's giving you something offensively. So I knock him, but I can't knock him too much. Like, we didn't lose just because of that foul. We lost because of a multitude of reasons, right? Like, it's frustrating. Reaves missed a free throw when it mattered. He was like perfect from the line, and then when we need to tie the game, he misses one. It's just, Anthony Davis can't make free throws. He's missed a bunch of free throws. Our stars didn't show up, right? You had LeBron 5 of 13 from the floor, 0 of 4 from 3. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He had 5 turnovers. Once again, he had almost as many turnovers as he did assists. Literally. Again, but this is like a regular thing now for LeBron, which is crazy. LeBron's always had like turnover issues, but not like this year. But it's not even just like, it's decision making. It's him like trying to force the issue. I keep saying he keeps leaving his feet. He had 2 turnovers this game because he just left his feet. They teach you that in like grade school. Hey, don't leave your feet. Don't pick up your dribble unless you're ready to make a decision, right? Like, I don't know why. There's so many careless turnovers by LeBron. Like, LeBron's always had issues turning the ball over, but not like this. This has been bad. I mean, you can't, like, he's a liability when he has the ball in his hands at times. Look, I'm not saying, LeBron's still amazing. He's still a top 10 player, but dude, the guy is having his struggles this year, and you can't ignore it, right? Like, we can't just like pretend like it's not happening. I'm as big of a LeBron guy as the next guy, but the truth is the truth. The guy can't take care of the basketball. Like, what do we say here? Austin Reaves. Again, people keep telling me Austin Reaves is this, that, and the other. Another bad game. 3 of 11, 1 of 9 from 3, right? 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 turnovers. He had more turnovers than he did assists. He had as many turnovers as he had rebounds, right? And then you look at I don't know why. I get Austin Reaves is JJ Redick's guy. He's the third guy, all that. D'Lo had it tonight. Reaves didn't. Keep Reaves on the bench. Keep Connect. If you wanted to keep Max Christie, that's fine. I don't mind Max Christie being in there, again, for defensive purposes, athleticism, right? You're hoping that he kind of helps clean some stuff up. Again, that was a terrible foul. It looked like he thought we had a foul to give, and we didn't. And that was just, it was just a really bad foul. But I get, it's like you need somebody to try to slow down SGA. And he did do a pretty good job until that end. They kept switching SGA off of him onto Austin Reaves. But I think you should have went D'Lo, Christie, Dalton Connect, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, right? Or went with Rui for size. But, Rui didn't have, like, this stellar game. It's just, again, like, Lakers need trades. That's the reality. They need trades. They're just not good enough. They're not. Like, this is a game that we should have won, right? Like, it's a game we should have won. But we didn't. Turnovers, lack of rebounding. How many offensive rebounds did they get, right? And I keep telling people they had, this is us. They had rebounds, offensive rebounds. They had 15 offensive boards. They had 54 rebounds total to our 50, and we had 8 offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded. We were twice their size, and they rebounded us. Why? This game is a perfect example of all the things that I've talked about, all the things that I keep highlighting, right? The inconsistencies from Reaves, the broad turnovers, right? The need for perimeter guys. We need guys on the perimeter, right? Like, the reason we're struggling to rebound is because we don't have athleticism out on the perimeter. Guys do shoot shots, ball comes off, and then they just go run and grab it, right? And our guys are too slow to get there. It's, no. Like, they're just winning foot races against us because we don't have the athleticism. You fix the perimeter defense. You fix out on the perimeter. You're going to clean up most of your rebounding issues. I'm not saying we don't need another center, period. It's not what I'm saying. We could use another center. But I don't think that that's priority numero uno. I think priority numero uno is to fix the perimeter. You fix the perimeter, right? You're going to solve almost all of your issues, right? Like, it's just, man, it's frustrating. But anyway, let's get into the chat here. Again, appreciate you all hanging out with me. Real quick, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and let's get into it. Oh, well, all right. I mean, at this point, it's like expected, right? This one sucks, man. Not much to blame, but the incredible shot making of SGA. Gotta stick it out. The NBA Cup hopes out for the year. Yeah, I mean, look, I said it when the season, in the offseason, I didn't think the Lakers were going to take the cup serious. Like, Lakers wanted to win the cup last year, right? Like, that was like the goal. Like, LeBron and AD played every game like it was like a playoff game, right? I just didn't think that they cared as much this season. LeBron already got what he wanted. He got the cup win, got the MVP. That's on his belt for accolades. And again, I'm not saying that they're not trying. I'm just saying that, like, I don't think it, like, this was last year. This was like everything to them. This year, it's not that. It's just another game for them, right? So that was kind of my thing. And I don't know. I mean, there's a lot you can kind of blame. Like, SGA is SGA. You know he's going to do that. You know he's going to hit shots. You know he's going to close down the stretch. But also just careless turnovers, lack of rebounding. It's crazy. Hard to watch tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The LeBron turnovers are crazy. It is. It's wild, right? And I don't know. I don't know what like what do you do at this point, right? Like, it's becoming an issue, like a real issue. And again, I'm as big of a LeBron guy as the next guy, but like, he's not above criticism. He's not above being honest, right? We have to be honest. And honestly, LeBron's turnovers are hurting this team. Yeah, LeBron and these turnovers are ridiculous. It is. It's crazy. Take care of the basketball. He keeps leaving his feet. I don't know why he keeps leaving his feet. Like, they teach you that in grade school, literally. Andrew, coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. LaVine and Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't know why I say Dorian Finney-Smith. Rob should be. Yeah, I agree. Like, at this point right now, yeah, I agree. Like, I think if you can get Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then like a Day'Ron Sharp or a Nick Richards or something like that, I think you got to do it. I really do. I think you gotta go get that real third guy, that consistent third guy who also gives you athleticism, who also gives you playmaking, could you imagine Zach LaVine in the Austin Reaves role? Could you imagine how much better we would be with Zach LaVine in the Austin Reaves role? And now Austin Reaves is the fourth guy. So when he is cooking and he is having a great game, you're that much better. But when he's not, he's having his struggles, like, you still can win games, right? Like, if we had Zach LaVine tonight, we probably win this game, right? Dorian Finney-Smith, we probably win this game. I do. I think if you can get Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, and in a perfect world, Walker Kessler, but I don't know if you'll be able to get all three. But if you can get at least a Dorian Finney-Smith and a Zach LaVine, I think you're in good shape. Grippy Longstock coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Seriously, I appreciate it. LeBron turnovers are a big problem. Reaves as well. I agree. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. It's crazy at this point that, like, LeBron can't take care of the basketball. Look, again, I am as big of a LeBron guy as the next, but the reality is this guy is a liability when it comes to turnovers. The guy's having as many turnovers a night as he is assists. All right, like, he had a game the other night, we had 6 turnovers and 7 assists. Tonight, he has 5 turnovers and 6 assists. And it's just like carelessness. It's him, like, trying to force the issue, force the pass, or it's him, like, leaving his feet and then having nowhere to go and getting stuck. They called, like, several travels, or 2 travels, and then, a double dribble that he had because he keeps leaving his feet. Like, it's just, at this point, it is. And then, yeah, Reaves, again, Reaves is just, he's inconsistent. Like, it's the reality. People keep telling me, like, no, Reaves did. Like, look, again, I like Reaves. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he's garbage. I'm not saying you trade him for a bag of chips or anything like that. I do think that he should be on the trade block. I do think, if you can get the right deal for him, you trade him, but we can't keep pretending. At what point are we honest about Austin Reaves? He's not a third guy. He's not consistent, right? I said this before, and no one seems to have an answer. Like, you know why? Because I'll tell you the answer. There isn't one, right? Like, name me a top contending team where Austin Reaves would start on, let alone be the third guy. All the top teams are like, they're not going to start guys. Like, the only one that maybe you can make an argument for is like Denver, but they probably would keep Christian Braun in the starting unit because he's more athletic. He's, better shooting on most nights, and he is just better defensively. So, like, you have the better balance. It's a problem. LeBron turning the ball over. Look, no one expects him to be, unbelievably great every night. He's 40 years old in year 22, right? I try to give him some leeway and try to understand, like people even say, like, why aren't you more critical of LeBron? And I think I'm more critical than most, but I also try to factor in, okay, he's 40 in year 22. But the things that are problems, like, you could be 80 and you don't leave your feet. You don't, like, unless his brain is starting to, decline. Like, it's just the decision making is the problem, right? I get he's probably not going to be as athletic. He's probably not going to be as explosive. He's not going to be able to do some of the things that he was able to do. Like, that's fine. But the turnovers, unless his brain is declining, he shouldn't be having these kind of struggles. Michael, coming in hot with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, seriously. I appreciate it. Felt like JJ's game plan today was ball movement and threes, which neutered our strengths in attacking the rim and getting to the line. 80 disappeared. Couple things about that. One, it's hard when they're just packing the paint, right? They were packing the paint pretty heavily this game and just telling us, hey, beat us out on the perimeter, right? Like, Reaves had a couple like wide open ones. D'Lo had a couple open ones. LeBron had several open ones, right? They were trying to contain AD as much as possible, and they did a good job of that. But AD should have been more aggressive, should have been more dominant, right? Should have been more aggressive at the rim. And also, if you're the Lakers, don't settle. If like Reaves, again, like, sticking with Reaves, he's 1-9 from three. Why do you keep shooting threes? Put the ball on the deck. Get into the mid range, right? Like, you don't have to shoot threes. If you don't got it, you don't got it, right? It's the understanding of, like, okay, like, I can't buy a three to save my life tonight, so maybe I should stop shooting threes, right? Let me if the guy closes out, tack the close out, get into the teeth of the defense, and then I can make a decision from there. Or, hey, they're giving me space. Let me take a step in or two and elevate, knock it down, right? Okay, boom, I just hit a two. Boom, I just hit another one. Okay, let me try to get in a rhythm, right? When you're just shot chucking, right, you're not getting into a rhythm. Get into a rhythm is the problem. But, I think it's, it was what they gave us, right? Tack closeouts, kick out, right? Like, you're trying to play an inside out game to an extent, but they just kept collapsing and forcing the Lakers to hit shots. And you didn't have guys that could hit shots, right? Or at least majority of the guys. Again, LeBron was 0 of 4, Rui was 0 of 1, AD was 0 of 1, Connect was 6 of 12, he was 50%. Reaves was 1 of 9, D'Lo was 44%. Like, literally, outside of Connect and D'Lo, no one else could hit a three. Christie was 0 of 1, Cam Reddish was 0 of 1, right? So literally, all of your threes, you had, 11 made threes? Is that correct? And 11 made threes. They were 11 of 38 from three. And 10 out of those 11 were from two guys, Dalton Connect and D'Angelo Russell. Like, what are you doing at that point? Right? Like, and then Austin Reaves, again, 1-9, LeBron 0 of 4. Like, it's hard to have the game plan work when guys can't hit shots. But appreciate you. Thank you so much. 23 Vader coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Seriously. It hurts to say this, but as a huge Bron fan, his age is starting to slowly show. My man is struggling to get 20 now. He's even a liability on defense. Look, again, like, I'm with you. Look, I have said repeatedly, I believe LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. I believe that LeBron James is still an incredible talent, even at age 40 in year 22, right? The guy is unbelievable. But we have to be honest, right? I don't think anyone really expects him to be, peak LeBron at 40 in year 22, but he's good enough, right? Like, he's good. If he just needs to start playing with his mind more than his skill. It's almost like he's used to the athletic. It's almost like his mind hasn't caught up to his body yet, right? Like he still thinks like, okay, like I can leave my feet. Well, I could just turn around in the air and just, but he's not as high as he used to be, right? Like, LeBron, if he got stuck, he'd do some crazy stuff where you're just like, wow, okay, right? Like he doesn't have the live. He doesn't have certain things, but he keeps trying to force the issue. Like that's the thing. He keeps trying to thread the needle on some of these passes. And it's like, you don't need to do that, right? Run some action, call for a pick, like play within the action, right? I don't know if it's just, maybe it's that because he has, to his credit, he has done a better job of playing within the offense. So I don't know if it's just like he's not used to it. So he's trying to force the issue. He's trying to like get his assist total up and force the issue rather than just like trusting the process. But it's a real problem at this point. I mean, defensively, by ability, he's still shown the ability to like lock down. He had a great defensive sequence against SGA, but he doesn't have it night in, night out, game in and game out, right? It's why I've talked about like one of the reasons I like Zach LaVine so much is now LeBron gets to just play the magic role. LeBron's going to go get his 20, on 9 out of 10 nights, just being out there on the court, right? But now he doesn't have the pressure of like, if I don't score 25, we don't have a chance, right? Like a game tonight, like this would have been a great Zach LaVine game, right? Like, there you go. Here's the ball. They're doing everything in their power to slow down Anthony Davis and not have AD beat us, right? And in return is neutralizing LeBron because he can't shoot tonight. His three ball isn't falling, so he has to just get to the rim, right? And you saw them. Like every time he gets to the rim, there's 5 guys around him. They're making everyone. OKC had their game plan. And the Lakers, how do you beat that game plan? You hit shots. Well, when you're not hitting shots, OKC doesn't have to adjust their game plan. So that's why I'm so big on Zach LaVine. People go, why do you keep making videos about Zach LaVine? Why do you keep talking about Zach LaVine? This is a great example why. This game is a perfect reason. From now on, every time somebody's like, why do you want Zach LaVine so bad? I'm like, go watch the OKC game. Right? Like, this is a perfect example why I want Zach LaVine. But I appreciate you, 23 meter. I'm right there with you. It is. It sucks. It sucks because you can see the end of the road, right? You can see that we're towards the end. But Hiru Sun, thank you so much for $5 super chat. Seriously, I appreciate it. Cam was only one forcing SGA to pass the ball, and he had 0 closing minutes. Come on, JJ. Yeah, like I get the logic, and like Christie was doing a good job. Like they kept switching onto Reaves, right? Like, and then on that closeout, it was just a bonehead decision. But like I saw people that were like, oh, well, this is why you don't have Reaves on the court because of that foul. But like the same result happens even if he's off the court because LeBron turns that ball over. Max Christie just had the athleticism and was in the right place at the right time to go get it. Like if that was D'Lo, OKC's getting that ball and going the other way. If that was Reaves, OKC's getting the ball and going the other way. Max Christie was just in the right place at the right time to sell it. So it's kind of like you made a spectacular play where you saved a turnover and hit a shot, and then you gave it right back, which is the youth, right? That's the problem. I probably would have went with Cam Reddish, if I'm being honest, just because of his size, his length, the way he could kind of disrupt. But I get the idea, right? Cam Reddish gives you nothing offensively. So the idea is like, okay, well, Max Christie he's doing good defensively, and he can give you some type of offense. So I get it, but the biggest thing, in my opinion, right, that if you want to really blame JJ on, that I personally blame JJ on, and obviously, we all have our different perspectives, but my thoughts is I think D'Lo should have been in that game instead of Austin Reaves, right? Like if you want to criticize JJ for anything, it's get the guy that's been a liability all game out of the game and inject the guy that has been cooking. The guy's been great, right? Like, look, I've been critical of D'Lo. I've been critical of Reaves. I'm not saying you don't trade D'Lo or anything like that, but he had it tonight. And I keep talking about, like, this is the D'Lo we need to have. If we have this version of D'Lo, which now it's 2 straight games, we'll see if he can maintain that, right? But if we can get this version of D'Lo, Lakers are going to win more games than otherwise. But it just kind of goes into like, I get you got to stick. I get you like your guy. I get you want to like trust and instill confidence in Reaves. But if D'Lo was having that night, he's sitting on the bench. So he's having a great night. You bench him. He's having a bad night. You bench him, right? Like Reaves isn't LeBron. Reaves isn't Anthony Davis, where it's like, why? Like, I don't care how bad LeBron and AD are. You don't take them out of the game at the end of the game. But somebody like Reaves, it's like to me, that was like the biggest faux pas. That was the one where I was like the Max Christie thing, I get the logic. If he doesn't make that foul, we probably still lose that game, but people aren't as critical of Max Christie, right? Max Christie had an amazing play, literally saved a moment, saved a turnover and hit a shot, right? And it was like, let's go. And then he just makes the youthful mistake. But I don't know. To me, it's more of like JJ's decision with D'Lo. I think that was just a really poor decision, in my opinion. I think you needed to stick with D'Lo, personally. Dustin coming out the $5 super chat. Max Christie has no IQ. LeBron turnovers are hurting us, and Reaves was trash tonight. Lakers need point of attack defense. Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, and Day'Ron Sharpe. Dustin, first off, I don't know if Max Christie has no IQ, because he had a couple great IQ plays tonight. But it's the inexperience, right? It's not being in those situations, not understanding, right? He's 21 years old. He's not somebody that gets it yet, right? And this is his first figure it out year, right? Like he was already supposed to have this year out of the way, and he never got it. So now he's in the figure it out year, trying to figure it out. You're gonna have bonehead decisions. Like I mentioned, Max Christie literally saved the game 1 minute, right? Saved LeBron from another turnover, from his 6th turnover, and then ended up hitting a shot. And it was like, yes, this is why Max Christie's in the game. And then literally moments later, null and void that previous play. And it's just, again, to me, it's the lack of experience. I don't think it's the no IQ, right? Because he's had some really good IQ plays, right? Even the bailout with Hartenstein, getting able to, he knew if I bring it and show him, right? Whether he meant to do it or not, we don't know. But that was a good, he was stuck, right? So what do? Hey, here, look over here. And Isaiah took the bait, right? And he ended up getting free throws from it and stuff. I don't think it's IQ. I think it's just lack of experience. But even then, it's who else are you putting in that spot, right? You can go with Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish isn't this brilliant IQ guy either. Lakers don't have those guys, period, right? They don't have those guys that you really trust from a defensive standpoint outside of Jared Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt, is he ever going to play is the problem. But beyond that, yeah, look, LeBron's turnovers are killing us. It is. They are. I love LeBron, but the reality is the reality. The truth is the truth. And the truth is LeBron James just can't take care of the basketball. Can't take care of the basketball. He's leading the league in turnovers, I think. And I think by a good margin, too. It's bad. And then, again, Austin Reaves, he's inconsistent. I don't know how many times I got to say it. People keep telling me I'm wrong. People keep coming up with excuses and all that stuff. At what point do we just be honest about Austin Reaves? At what point do we just admit, okay, again, he's a good player. He's not the guy he's not a star. He's not a superstar. He's not a third option. If he's your 4th or 5th guy, you're a very good basketball team. But as your 3rd guy, so what you get, right? Inconsistencies, turnovers. He's not a playmaker. I keep saying that. People go, oh, where are you 7 assists? There's tons of guys in the league that go get you 5 assists that no one thinks is a playmaker. Right? There's a difference between a guy that can make plays and a playmaker, right? Chris Paul is a playmaker, right? Austin Reaves is the guy that can make plays. He can run the basics. He can run the pick and roll. He can kick out, drive and kick, right? He can find the occasional cutter. He can do the basics. He's not a guy that's creating and seeing the floor and getting guys in position and having things develop in real time and, making the pass before the guy gets there and doing all this stuff, right? You see D'Lo do stuff like that. D'Lo is a guy that can be a playmaker. Austin Reaves is not a playmaker, right? But this style of offense, in theory, you don't really need that. You just need somebody that can initiate. Problem is that Austin Reaves' decision-making at times when he has the ball in his hands, he's not good with ball pressure. He's not. Lakers are one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to ball pressure, and a lot of that is because of Austin Reaves. Right? It's a problem. But, yeah, look, Lakers need defense. You need to solve the perimeter. Like I mentioned it earlier, you got to solve the perimeter. if you solve the perimeter, I'm not saying you don't need a center at all, but your biggest priority is fixing the perimeter. If you can fix the perimeter, it's going to help with rebounding because a lot of balls are long ball rebounds. A lot of shots. Teams are shooting like 43s a game against us on most nights. Right? What did OKC take? OKC had taken a couple. They took 43s. Exactly. 43s. Teams are literally like, I think they're averaging like 38 and a half against us, something like that. Like teams are just jacking up threes against us because our perimeter's terrible. And it's like, I'd rather take a three than go into the interior and get blocked by Anthony Davis. And then even if I miss, I can win a foot race against Austin Reaves, D'Angelo Russell, and Rui Hachimura. So I'll just shoot this shot and then just chase after it and then just beat them to the spot, right? Like that's what's happening. If you fix the perimeter, you're going to fix a lot of your rebounding, fix a lot of your defense. You're just going to be a better overall team. But you need to also maintain the balance. You need to maintain the offense. Lakers are like, top 5 offense. You need to keep that. 23 Vader coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If this doesn't convince Rob to get a third star, I don't know. Yeah, look, like I said, I'm a big Zach LaVine guy. People keep asking, like, why do you want Zach LaVine so bad? Telling you, I'm going to start pointing people. I'm going to be like, go watch the OKC game and then come back to me and tell me you don't need Zach LaVine. Right? Like, this is a perfect example of, like, exactly why you need Zach LaVine. LeBron James and Anthony Davis don't have it tonight. You don't have anybody else. But if you had Zach LaVine, you could be like, here, go give us 50. Okay? The guy played 25 games this year, still dropped 50. It's crazy. Crazy. But anyway, thank you so much for the super chats, everyone. Let's get back into the regular chat until some more trickle in. Let's see. 17 turnovers for the team as it stands. It's very hard to watch sometimes. Yeah. It's terrible. Right? Like, it's just like, it's like every other possession is a turnover. It's crazy. It's crazy. You're not winning very many games, if any. The fact that they were even in this game is impressive. Right? Like, the fact that that they didn't get blown out and lose by 30 is impressive. Right? But, like, again, you have, how many assists did they have? They had, 25 assists to, 17 turnovers. You're not winning very many games that way. You're not. Just not winning very many games that way. This team, such a joke. I don't care. I'm done. Give up both first and get LaVine and Vu. I'm done. Please get them if we don't. This season is absolutely lost. Yeah, look, whatever you get, whatever they do, they need to pull off some type of trade. You need to get some upgrades, right? Again, I'm a big Zach LaVine guy. Vu and Zach, I know I've made videos about it, kind of diving into it. It's kind of more of just like people have asked, like, is it possible? So it's kind of like, hey, let's talk about it. I did say earlier today, the more that I think about it, the more I kind of like it, right? Because it's just like, who's stopping them offensively? But even if you don't, like Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then Day'Ron Sharpe or any type of guard, or if you can do the huge Nets haul, but they want like 3 firsts for Cam Johnson. Like, it's just, and this is because of the Knicks. The Knicks did this, right? The Knicks made the Nets believe that they can fleece every team rather than understanding that the Knicks just fleeced themselves. It was more circumstance. All of Connect's 3-point efforts amount to nothing. At what point do you lose hope in this team, bro? I mean, look, it's my team. I'm always going to try to find ways and be confident. I mean, that's the problem when you can't stop anybody, right? Connect would hit a 3, and like he had a sequence where he hit like 2 in a row, got us right back into the game, and then they immediately gave up a 3 the other direction, and then turnover, and then another bucket. You're like, there goes everything. It's frustrating. No offense, all right defense, incredible Shea shot making sums up the night. Turnovers and so it's just a bad all around game. AR in these turnovers is crazy too. Yeah, absolutely embarrassing. LeBron's not washed. Like, let's not get. We can be honest. We can be critical. That's fine, but let's not go crazy. Like, he's not washed, but the guy just needs to make better decisions, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with being honest, but you got to like put things in perspective. We got to make a trade and get a defender. Max gets cooked. Yeah, I mean, again, he's inexperienced, right? Like, that's the problem. Like, again, he was already supposed to have his figure it out here, and he never got it. And now he's trying to do his figure it out here now. I agree. I said the same thing earlier. That's kind of my big like knock is that like I think Reaves should have been on the bench and D'Lo should have been in that game. 80 sold me for $800. 9 shots is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean their entire scheme was to like stop him, have anybody else beat us. What's going on? Exact. Appreciate you. Salute. What's going on, buddy? 1-9 from 3. Yep. We had 90 turnovers. Yeah. Sad thing is, you're not wrong. They had the game. Yeah, it was there. Let's see. Why did Max foul again? Just inexperience. It's just the inexperience of not understanding that this whole team is just bad, man. Reaves and Rui trade package. Look, I'm not against trading Reaves. I've said it. I don't think you just trade Reaves, right? Like Reaves is frustrating at times. Don't get me wrong, but you got to like he's also our like main value guy. Like he's the one guy that we have that like teams desire. So like you need to maximize that. But again, I don't think Austin Reaves should be untradeable. So I'm hopeful if that's the case. Oh, I will say I have a video scheduled for tomorrow, I believe. Because maybe the Lakers will start considering trading Reaves. Because according to Jovan Buha, there's like a 55% chance he said that Austin Reaves, when LeBron retires, is going to go elsewhere, and that he believes teams will offer him. I think it was like $340 million or something like that, something crazy like that. I do not see a scenario. I don't know what team would offer that, especially with the new CBA. Maybe without the CBA. The new one, right? Like maybe a team would overpay for him, but I don't know. I mean, you could argue there are a lot of bad teams, and you get teams that like just want to get him off the Lakers. But I mean, you're talking what, like $40 million a year for Austin Reaves? Like he's not that good. For $12 million, he's good. He's a good value for that. I think realistically, based on just the market, it's probably like 18 to maybe 20 million. I could see a team maybe giving him 20 million. But like 40 million, like Brandon Ingram's not even going to get 40 million. Brandon Ingram's a better player than Austin Reaves is. Let's see. This team is a repeat of the 2022 team, like the eye test. I don't know. That team was just old and terrible. I just think we just lack the athleticism. Lakers Nation. JJ, LeBron, and Reaves hating on West Side. Did he like lead the team in points again today? I don't know if they were hating on him, but he had back-to-back 20 games. Yeah, he led the team in points again. Redick, coaching disaster crest. I don't know where you get that from. I mean, again, there's a couple things that I would have changed, but like the Lakers were in this game the entire time. Again, you have to have your personnel, right? Like if your personnel, like what has Pop done in the last 7 years, right? Like nothing. Why? Is he like a bad coach all of a sudden? No, he just doesn't have the talent. What did Phil Jackson do without Jordan and Kobe, right? Like every great, Red Auerbach, right? Go back, John Wooden, right? You name it, right? You need the talent. You need to have the pieces, right? Like it's like, okay, well, we can't stop OKC right now. Like who can I go to? You have like Cam Reddish, who gives you nothing offensively, and then like Max Christie, who may give you something offensively, but is inexperienced. Like, what do you do? He's too inconsistent. Yeah. I'm going to bed. Team trash. I feel it. He's not, because he's not a point guard. He's not. He's not a playmaker. He can make plays. He can be the swing man, right? He can give the hockey assist. He's not a playmaker. Let's see. And you look at the Celtics as it stands. They just keep winning. I'm so jealous. I feel it. Their team is stacked though. All right, I got a minute. I'm gonna have to get my charger in a minute, but let me try to power through some questions here. Zach LaVine's probably the best player on the Lakers. I still don't think he's better than LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but if you remove them off the team, 100%. Turnovers, missed free throws, can't rebound him. Let's talk from instead. Disappointing game, shaking my head. What's going on, Black Star? Yeah, right. Seriously, we should just turn this into a from live stream. Let's see. LeBron and AD. It's not serious anymore. I can see that on their body language. This roster is trash. Austin Reaves continues to be thought he was Curry. Yeah. If they play Denver, they're going home. Yeah, without a doubt. Braun needs to leave the game before the game leaves him. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think LeBron's bad. I mean, LeBron's still really good, but it's just again, it's he's not the guy he once was. Right? He's still one of the best in the league. Stakes coming out to $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Reaves is not a point guard. Shorten the leash. I agree. He's not. He's not a point guard. Again, he's a shooting guard that can make plays on occasion. Right? Gets tunnel vision too much. Can't create things. Right? He can, if there's something there, he can do it. Right? Again, he can run the pick and roll action. He can find the cutter. Right? He can, drive, connects wide open, boom, kick it out to him. Right? Like, he can do the basics, but he can't run an offense. Like, he doesn't handle ball pressure well. Again, Lakers are one of the worst ball pressure teams in the league right now. Why? Because Austin Reaves. Like, Austin Reaves is on the ball more than anybody, and he doesn't handle it well. Every time he starts getting even a remote of ball pressure, he folds. He's just, but the problem is like, you don't have anybody else, right? Like, I love Connect. Like, you can't put Connect in that role. Not right now, right? Like, he's good. Like, he's shown the ability to do a little bit of everything, but he needs a couple years before he's like, here, like, take over games, right? Like, but, you could go with D'Lo, but then you can't have Reaves and D'Lo out on the court at the same time. So it's like, you've been like, it's kind of like you're in a rock and a hard place, which is why I like the idea of Austin Reaves or Zach LaVine. Again, Zach LaVine isn't a point guard either, but he's just more athletic. He handles ball pressure better. He can blow by the defender. If the defender's pressing too close, he can just get around them. Austin Reaves can't. He's not quick enough. He's not physical enough. He doesn't have the tools to just get around the defender. Right. So even like a Zach LaVine in that role is going to give you more consistent, more offense, but he can also get by the defender. He can blow by the defender, and he can do a lot of the same stuff. He's not a playmaker, but he can run the pick and roll. He can find the open man. He can do all that. He has like a plus 22 win rate for Chicago. Like, the guy is like ridiculous, which is why they want to get him off of Chicago, because they want to tank. But Stakes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Deal 70 points here. I think he should have closed at the end. I really do. D'Lo has been, but last two games he's been much better. Keep D'Lo in the games for a reason. Yeah, this game you should have. In my opinion, this was a game where you should have. Stick with the guy that has it going, right? Lakers making an effing trade. Damn, this team makes my blood boil. I feel it. I feel it. So I made a video. I have it scheduled for the Charlotte Hornets. The Melo rumor, like, it's not like a rumor. It's just, so there was a report that came out and people are kind of running with it. So again, it's not going to happen, right? Never say never. Never say never, because strange things have happened in the league. It all stemmed from when Charlotte's head coach decided to sit LaMelo at the end of the game for Trey Mann, and they ended up losing. And look, Trey Mann was having a good game. Melo was struggling a little bit, but he's your superstar, right? Like, you don't do that. So then people kind of like, oh, he's going to end up requesting out. He's going to want out of there. He's not going to be happy about this. And then there was a report that came out that the Lakers that there's a growing sense that the Lakers, which I have this video scheduled too. It's just, we got news earlier today, so I had to talk about it. There's a lot of Chicago news today, so I ended up pushing everything to tomorrow. So, but there's a report that came out that the Lakers, that there's a growing consensus that the Lakers need an all-star guard that can fill in if they want to compete in the West, right? Because the West, every night you're going up against an elite guard. And somebody threw out LaMelo, and people are running away with it. So are the rumors true? No. It didn't stem from a reliable source. It was like the telephone game, right? It was like one person said something, and then somebody else added to it, and then somebody else added to it, and then it became LaMelo, and it's what it was. So they're trying to run the offense through the backboard, apparently. Let's see. AR ain't doing nothing. LeBron turnovers and playing weak. Yep. Good night, Lakers Nation. I feel he ain't been good, Reaves. Yeah, he's inconsistent. That's the problem. He's just inconsistent. Like, and until he fixed the consistency issues, this who he is. We're wasting Connect for. That's wild. I mean, it's crazy that our rookie he's literally been the third most consistent player. I mean, you can make an argument he's been the most consistent player, right? But Anthony Davis is there. But yeah, Dalton Connect has literally been the guy. JJ should be ashamed for not playing Dalton more. Didn't he play like 35 minutes? How many games? He played 33 minutes. He had the second most minutes tonight. Like, how many more minutes was he supposed to play? Yeah, Anthony Davis played 37 minutes, and then Connect played 33 minutes. Played the same minutes as LeBron. Actually, LeBron played 22 seconds more. So, I mean, I don't know how many more minutes he's supposed to play. I mean, look, it can't be – you're not going to win very many games if just three guys are showing up. Right? It's a 5-on-5. I would have kept D'Lo in the game over Reaves, 100%. We're not trading LeBron. Again, like, it's fine to be critical. It's okay to be honest, but can't blow it out. Like, we can't get crazy here, right? Like, this is where things start getting bad, and people go, "Oh, like, look, Laker fans are delusional." Like, stuff like that. Like, it's okay to be like, "Hey, LeBron's struggling. He's not been great, right?" Like, but that doesn't mean like, "Oh, trade LeBron." Keeping Reaves is holding the team back. He's not good at anything. Yeah. Again, I've said this before. What is he elite at? Like, even most role guys are elite, right? Like Jared Vanderbilt, he's elite defensively. Doesn't give you much like offensively and stuff like that, but defense, he's elite, right? Like, D'Lo can make plays, shoot the ball, right? Like, what does Reaves give you on a regular basis? Lakers might legit need LaVine, although he would head to this game too. I don't know. Like, LaVine's been pretty good this year, man. He's been very consistent and really good, efficient. Bron slows the game down. AR is a second unit shooting guard. Disagree. I think he's best as the sixth man. D'Lo had 9 boards, 9 rebounds. Get after the. I just, again, at some point you gotta go with the better guy. If Reaves was cooking and killing it tonight, then fine. It's like, I got to choose between one of them. Let's stick with the guy, right? Let's stick with the starter. Fine. But that wasn't what happened, right? Like, Reaves was terrible tonight. D'Lo was cooking, right? Like, stick with the guy that's cooking. Like, why was Max Christie in the game? Like, because, again, who else, right? Like, it's either him or Cam Reddish. I probably would have went with Cam Reddish, but I get the logic. Like, Max Christie at least gives you something offensively, right? Like, if it wasn't for that faux pas foul, we'd all be seeing it. Even if we lost, we'd be like, man, Max Christie, he did a good job. It's in the moment, right? He had an excellent sequence where he saved another turnover. LeBron would have had 6 turnovers, saved the turnover, turns around, hits the shot that was just like a tough shot. And it was like, yes, there you go. That's why he's in the game. And then moments later, null and voided all of that. Otherwise, we'd all would have been like, hey, he did good. How many times you have to use a facepalm emoji? I know, seriously. It's so frustrating. A third consistent scorer group. Yeah, he can't foul in that situation. 100%. Again, that was a terrible decision. But again, it goes to his lack of experience, and that's a problem, right? Let's see. We need LaVine and Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm right there with you. Kill Lakers all night. I mean, it's SGA. That's what he does, right? I just lost my respect for JJ. He's a mediocre coach. Is he blind? How many games they have that he didn't saw how good Dalton Connect shoots? He didn't even make sets for him. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. Dalton Connect took the most shots out of anybody on the team. He took 16 attempts and had 12 threes, which shot 50%. Like, he led the team in scoring. He played the third most minutes technically. He played the same minutes as LeBron, but LeBron played 22 seconds more. I don't know how you come to that conclusion. I have no idea how you came to that conclusion because like literally like he took the most shots. Like I don't know what to tell you. What else? Andrew, come out $2 super chat. Thank you so much. LaVine's fast breaks versus our guards is pro versus college. 100%. Zach LaVine, I mean, I talked about this in one of the recent videos. I talked about Zach LaVine a lot, but like one of the recent videos I talked about Zach LaVine, I talked about how just imagine how better we'd be in the transition as well as just fast breaks because Zach LaVine with his foot speed, his athleticism, his ability to just get to the rim, apply rim pressure, do all those things. It's not. We literally have nobody that can do anything, not even like a quarter of what Zach LaVine can do, right? Like D'Lo's done a good job of actually getting to the rim lately this season as a whole, but not to like Zach LaVine is explosive, right? Like Dalton Connect is probably the closest thing we have. He just is a rookie, so he hasn't figured out how to like he just goes up and challenges rather than like okay, I can go around this guy. Like I don't have to like tomahawk slam on every single player, right? Like that, like for example, that the Hartenstein, where Hartenstein blocked him, right? Instead of going up and trying to slam that home, if he just like, switches and just lays it in, he either gets fouled and he's going to the foul line, right? Like basically what Max Christie did. Max Christie went up to go challenge, realized like, I'm not going to win this challenge, and then brought it around, showed the ball, and he went, and then it led to free throws. Right? Dalton Connect, when he learns that, once he learns how to like real body control around the rim, he's going to be tough. But I digress. Point is that Dalton Connect's the closest thing we have to that. But Zach LaVine has the experience. He knows like how to draw the contact. He knows how to and he has the ability to like, I can go up and then I have enough hang time where I can just like go to the other side, right? You're right. It's pro versus college. I mean, pro versus high school compared to the athleticism that we have. But I appreciate you. Thank you. I hate that AR was gassed up to be better than D'Lo. I understand D'Lo is streaky, but come on, bro. Look, I made arguments last season about D'Lo. Problem is that like with D'Lo and the type of offense we're running, a lot of it's neutralized unless he's just shooting the lights out. Like D'Lo doesn't make sense with the way that we're operating. Right? Like he makes sense last year. And it was what was so frustrating about Darvin Ham is it's like he's your best playmaker, not named LeBron. Give him the ball and let him go to work. But we're running action where there's supposed to be a lot of player movement, a lot of ball movement, right? You need a lot of IQ guys, right? Like you need it's a very specific style of offense rather than, last season with Darvin Ham, it was just like everyone spaced out and then you have LeBron and then you would like have Reaves rather than like D'Lo be that playmaker, right? Like that's the problem. And AR just isn't that playmaker. And it's why JJ's going so much with Reaves because you just need that initiator. You just need the guy to, tip the first domino. And then it's supposed to be a well-oiled machine. Problem is we don't have the personnel to really maximize the style of offense we're running. A big excuse is nonsense. And, we have offense is nonsense. We need LaVine and Dorian Finney-Smith. Again, offensively, we're good for several reasons. One is because Connect's shooting the lights out. He's shooting like 46% this year. That helps. Two, like LeBron James and Anthony Davis the games we win are giving you like 60 collectively. Right? They're accounting for like half of our points. It's not like we're just this great offense. We just have like one guy show up randomly, and then we have like LeBron James and Anthony Davis handling the bulk. But we've seen like what happens when LeBron James and Anthony Davis don't ball out. This. We have an athletic wing. He doesn't get any playing time. You talk about Cam Reddish? Is that who you're talking about? Because the problem with Cam Reddish is he doesn't give you the scoring. He doesn't give you anything on the offensive side of things. I like Cam Reddish, but and I do think you play some minutes, but it's just like over who. Uh-oh. And give me a second. Let me go grab my charger real quick because my computer's about to die. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, there we go. Now we're good. I just didn't want it to die on you guys. Try to go through it. Try to get through as much as the chat as I can. Why is LeBron breaking threes at the end like that? Father Time is caught up to LeBron. I fear. I don't know. Again, unless it's his brain, like I don't know if it's that. I mean, obviously he's not going to be the same that he was at 27 as he is at 40, but it's just again, it's more his decision making. This was worse. Yeah, it's rough game. Let's see. I would have went with D'Lo as well. Good game by my Demon Connect though. Yeah, he's been great, man. He has been just whew. Get Dorian Finney-Smith, and Schroeder, and then maybe an athletic yet bruising big. Problem is that athletic bruising big, there's not very many, if any. Again, I don't hate the idea of like Dennis Schroeder, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then like Day'Ron Sharpe. Yes, too many, way too many. We need a bucket getter and defender. Yeah. Zach LaVine and Dorian Finney-Smith. Go get LaVine and Dorian Finney-Smith. See, we're on the same page. LeBron needs to take a pay cut, and I'm a LeBron fan. I mean, he tried. Like, in his defense, he tried. He was willing to take like $20 million less. But the Lakers didn't get anybody, right? Which, again, I actually think the Lakers saved themselves from themselves, right? Like, look at Klay Thompson this year. He has not been great. And Dalton Connect probably gets nowhere near the opportunity he's gotten if we have Klay Thompson, right? Because he's not playing over Klay, and you have Klay to do that. Klay has not been super great, right? Like, I think in hindsight, it was good that they didn't get him. Valanciunas signed because the Lakers were prioritizing DeMar DeRozan and Klay Thompson, and then DeMar DeRozan just wasn't worth the money. Like they're paying him like $23 million or something like that a year. Like he's not worth that at this stage, right? And he made no sense for the Kings. Why do you think the Kings? I told everybody the Kings, the Mavs, and the Wolves would be, especially the Kings and the Mavs. Like everyone was like, oh, Kings and Mavs, they're gonna be bad, and they've been bad, right? Like Dallas, I didn't think would be as good. I still think they'll be good, but I don't think they're not going to be as good, and they haven't been as good. Yes, agreed. Transform this team. Dorian Finney-Smith and Sharpe is a realistic get. Rob needs to stop wasting time. According to reports, Rob Pelinka has been nonstop on the phone trying to get Dorian Finney-Smith. You got to keep in mind, it's a two-way thing, right? Like, I would love if Rob Pelinka just pick up the phone and be like, hey, we're going to give you this for that, and then hang up, and then it's done. It doesn't work like that, right? Like, the Nets aren't in a rush to pull off a trade, right? Like, they want a first for Dorian Finney-Smith. It doesn't make sense for the Lakers to give up a first for Dorian Finney-Smith, right? They got to be patient. But if you're the Nets, you can be patient, right? Like it's like who blinks first. But the Lakers need multiple pieces. They do. Andrew, not $2 for chat. We need to make these moves before the new year. I mean, I would prefer. I do think after December 15th, I don't know if the Lakers will, but I think you will start seeing some trades just because a lot of teams, like they can't even trade. Like even the Lakers, like can't trade Max Christie and a couple guys like because of new contract signings, right? So even Jared Vanderbilt, even if they wanted to trade Jared Vanderbilt, they couldn't right now. So I do think you'll start seeing things, and then a couple of the targets that the Lakers have can't be traded till after the 15th. So probably a good 2 weeks away before the Lakers pull off some trade. I hope. I would love if we got even just like a minor move, like the first stage, right? Like let's say they just went and got like Dorian Finney-Smith tomorrow. Like I would love that. Like I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you have to get all the trades at once, right? You don't have to do everything at once, right? But I would like to, if you can, great. But because the sooner you can pull off a trade, the better, right? You get more time together, build more chemistry. But, even if you just get that first piece, right? You get a Dorian Finney-Smith or you get a Zach LaVine, right? Or whatever, right? Like first step, and then you can fill in the rest, right? Then you can be patient at that point. OKC is just too good. OKC is really good. Dude, they've been missing like 4 starters all season, and they still have been just running through everybody. Yes, that I think was not a good decision at all. And the hit AR took sapped all of his energy, maybe. But if that's the case, then sit out. I'd rather you just like sit out, and then now D'Lo's forced to play some of these other guys. Zach LaVine would be a perfect fit with you. I'm telling you, be a perfect fit with us. I agree. I mean, even the injury prone thing though is like so blown out of proportion, right? But look, I tell people all this all the time. I encourage you, don't just take my word for it. Look it up, right? Zach LaVine played 25 games last year. Yes, that's not good, but context matters, right? He was expected to finish the season, which means he would have played around like 55 games, assuming he didn't get hurt again or anything. But he was expected to finish the season, and then the Detroit rumors came in. And when the Detroit rumors came in, right, all of a sudden he was like, I got to get surgery. Right? And even Chicago was like, wait a minute. What? You need surgery? Like no one knew, right? And so then he went and got surgery because he didn't want to go to Detroit. But you look at the last few years, like look at the last 5 years after last year. It's like 77 games, 67 games. I think it's like 58 games, 60 games, and then like 62 games. The guy's averaging 65 to 67 games a season. Right? There's a reason the league average is 65 games. It's why the NBA. Why do you think the NBA made the threshold for accolades 65 games? Because that's the average stars are playing. That's what most stars are playing on a season, 65 games. Right? So like the whole like LaVine injury prone thing, it is a little blown out of proportion. Now, is he the most healthy guy ever? No. Is there a risk? Yes. But again, like anybody could get hurt at any point. Right? Like, look at the injury bug around the league, period. Right? Like, it's just, you can't make decisions solely based on injuries because you don't know. Like, Anthony Davis for years was injured, and he's been the healthiest star in the league the last, knock on wood, right? The last 2.5 years, right? Like, guys, it depends on the season, right? Depends on the wear and tear. Plus, you got to keep in mind he wouldn't have to do as much on the Lakers as he does in Chicago. Max did a good job on SGA. He needs more playing time. Yeah, look, I talked about it earlier. Like he was fine outside of that blunder. He had that just inexperience blunder, right? But it's the lack of reps, the lack of opportunity, right? He's a kid that just he was already supposed to have had this season. He was already supposed to have the figure it out year under his belt, but he didn't get that. So now you need him to do that now, and it's just like. You're going to have moments like this, right? But you saw, like, you had a moment, literally moments before. Yes, it gets null and void because what he did after, but he had a great sequence that saved the game for a moment, right? We probably still lost the game out of the way, but it still saved the game. You still have to stop SGA. Who's to say we actually get to stop, right? Like, that's something else people got to keep in mind, right? Like, but point is that, you had a moment where he was brilliant. And then he went and made the inexperienced play on the other end. It's just like, oh, come on, dude. Right? It's frustrating. But, unfortunately, turnovers were not good. All right, I'm going to power through like 2 more pages. And then I'm going to skid on out of here so I can go make videos for you guys. And work and do all that stuff and hopefully not be up till 3 in the morning. Reaves is not good. Get LaVine ASAP. I agree. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something. Here we go. Austin Reaves gets all those calls because he plays for the Lakers. If he played for any other team, he'd be irrelevant. I don't know what calls. He hasn't been getting calls. He has games where he gets calls, but let's see. I mean, you could argue it the other way. Right? LeBron gets no calls, right? Like that guy gets no calls. Lakers got the worst backcourt in the NBA. You might not be wrong. It's just they have too many redundancies. Build around 80 DK. Those are the only 3 guys that I think are untradeable. AR isn't a sacrificial lamb. Again, like he's not a sacrificial lamb. It's the reality. He's inconsistent. Like Prove me wrong. Like, people always keep saying, like, oh, AR, they try to come up with all these shit, but they never have any facts to bring to the table. It's always their feelings. It's always their emotions. Like, oh, he's the sacrificial lamb. Has he been so good that people are just talking out of the side of their mouth? Or at what point do we be honest? Again, like, did he have a great game tonight or did he not? Like, again, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being honest. Nothing wrong with being honest. It doesn't mean you're being a hater. It doesn't mean anything. Again, I criticized LeBron earlier, right? Like, that doesn't mean I want to see LeBron traded or anything like that, but we can be honest. Honesty is important. We got to get a trade done immediately. I can't keep looking at these easy games. AD and LeBron should have come out dominant. No show. Agreed. Yeah, we beat ourselves. Definitely, Jay. I completely understand subbing in Cam only for defense purposes, and I completely do not understand subbing in Gabe for any purpose. Yeah, dude, that guy's Cardio Gabe got the nickname Cardio Gabe for a reason. We need to trade Reaves while he still has value. I'm not against trading Austin Reaves at all, personally. Again, I don't think you just trade him just to trade him, but I do think like, if there's something there that makes sense, then I think you do it. I agree with you, Tyler. We need perimeter defense. We do. It solves everything. If we can really get some guys out on the perimeter, it solves everything. Let's see. They need guys to do the dirty work around AD and DK. Yeah. It's Starving Ham's fault. Yeah. Blame Anthony Davis for matchups like this. He needs to go for 50 points. 15. I'm pissed. Still the whole game away. Problem is that OKC's entire defensive scheme was to stop Anthony Davis, right? Like, how do you fix that? Other guys hit shots, right? Like, OKC was fine. Like, hey, if they beat us on the perimeter, they beat us on the perimeter. But we're not going to let Anthony Davis beat us. And that's the problem. I do think Anthony Davis needed to be more aggressive. I will give you that. Like, Anthony Davis needed to be more aggressive, and he did need to try to be more dominant. But that was kind of the game plan. Yeah, on the offense, yeah. Scoring-wise, just as like a bucket getter. We held them to 41% shooting and still lost. Way too many turnovers. Yeah, turnovers and offensive rebounds, Jay. Turnovers and offensive rebounds. Gabe missed 2 free throws. Hurt my soul. Yeah, seriously. It's terrible. Guys missing free throws. AR missed a free throw. AD missed 2. It's frustrating. Let's see. Yeah, SGA is fantastic. Let's see. We need a true point guard. Yeah. Supposedly, Lakers just grow in sense that they need an all-star point guard, or not point guard, but guard. That they need an all-star guard. All right, let me do a few more here. This loss is on JJ. He is going to have to put his big boy pants on and sit guys down. LeBron and Reaves should have played 6 less minutes in this game. I mean, it's kind of hard to not play LeBron. The Reaves part, I agree with you on. I think D'Lo should have been in the game than Reaves. I mean, look, to me, JJ didn't lose this game. This is on the players. Right? Players just didn't show up. And JJ only has so many options. But JJ didn't help, right? Like, JJ wasn't it wasn't like he put on a brilliant coach and stuff. Like, he had his struggle, right? He made some poor decisions. So it was definitely a collective issue. Just couldn't close it. I'd start dealing over Reaves too, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Oh, LeBron is still top. Okay, top 12. If you want to argue he's 12, okay, fine. But the guy is there. He's close. There's not 10 guys, 12 guys, whatever you want to call it, that are better than LeBron. If we're being honest, that is. I mean, I could just name 12 guys. Oh, I got a super chat. And Nick T coming out with the super chat. All right, so I'll end on this one. Obviously, if I get another super chat, then I'll answer that. But I'm going to end here so I can go work and do the things that I need to do. Reaves 1 of 9 from 3 with awful defense. That's the game. Yeah, I mean, not it's an oversimplification. I mean, LeBron with he had almost as many turnovers as assists. Right, poor decision making down the stretch. JJ Redick, I think, should have had D'Lo in the game over Austin Reaves. I think that is another decision. But yeah, again, Austin Reaves, he's inconsistent. The guy, you don't know which Austin Reaves is showing up. You don't know if you're getting the Austin Reaves that's going to give you, 20. Like, there's no, like, I talked about this before. There's no middle ground with Austin Reaves. Like, how often are you like, man, Austin Reaves had a good game, right? No, it's either like, man, Austin Reaves is him, or he's just like unplayably bad, right? There's no like in between. It's either like he's giving you 20 to 25 and he's like 6 of 8 from 3 and he's just like killing it, or he's just really bad. I guess the middle ground would be when he is getting the whistle, right? Because he's had games where he's had like 19, and I've seen people be like, what are you talking about? Austin Reaves had 19 tonight. And I'm like, he was 3 of 15 from the floor, right? Where do you think that other 10 points came from? It came from the foul line, right? Like, that doesn't mean he had a good game. It just means he got the whistle tonight, right? Like, that it just depends. But it's very frustrating. But anyway, like I said, I try to get through as much of the chat as I possibly could. But I need to, get some stuff done, get some work done, try to get you guys some videos up for tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Everyone that's here, again, please take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on your way out. Everyone that gave me super chat, seriously, thank you so much. It really does help me out a ton. You have no idea. Everybody that was here, regardless, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Seriously, I love the conversations. Even when we lose, I still have the community to talk to. So, but I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.